The three pillars, okay? The three pillars, never mind the fact that I just had up six, okay? The three pillars of like authors, the big three for me are going to be in this order: Stephen King, Nora Roberts, James Patterson. Hi, I'm Luca Hippie. And today, I feel like it's been so long since I've done a sit down, or rather stand up, like talk about a book I just read that I really enjoy, that I really loved. Because I'm doing vlogs all the time, which is great because I like doing vlogs, but sometimes it's really cool just to do like a sit down video that's focused on one book instead of me trying to talk about the 15 million books I'm reading at once. So the book we're going to be talking about today is one of the first books that I read when I first got back into my reading journey, like 4 or 5 years ago, and that's going to be Montana Sky by Miss Nora Roberts. The three pillars, okay? The three pillars, never mind the fact that I just had up six, okay? The three pillars of like authors, the big three for me, are going to be in this order: Stephen King, Nora Roberts, James Patterson. I can pick up their stuff no matter what. Like if I'm ever in a crunch, if I'm ever in a bind and I don't know what I want to read, I pick up one of these three authors because I love their writing. It's not necessarily the stories that they're telling, but the way that they tell them. So she's number 2 on my 3 pillars of like great authors, right? And this is one of my favorite books. I've read it 3 times now. I read it that first time, of course, and then I read it another time, I think about maybe a year ago, somewhere around that, and I just got finished reading it on Friday, so like 2 days ago. And this book is basically about 3 sisters who, they don't know each other. They share, and they're all half sisters. They share a father, Jack Mercy. He's just passed away. He's drawn up this will, and the 3 sisters all come from different walks of life. Willa, she's the daughter that he kept, and he only kept her because he had to, because her mother passed away. She's the youngest. Then there's Lily. Lily, she is a very soft-spoken, she's a very gentle creature, like her name suggests. She's very, very, very fragile. She's had a really bad history with men, and she's essentially running away from a terrible past, basically. And there's Tess, who is the oldest, and she and Willa, the youngest, are the most alike as far as personalities go. They both have very strong personalities. They have wills of iron, these 2 women. And so when they meet each other, they kind of don't really like each other. But anyway, let me finish explaining their characters. Tess, she has a similar character to Willa, except she's very Hollywood. She is a screenwriter, I believe, and she lives in California. She's all things glitz and glamour. She's trying to get this money from the man who's never done anything for her ever in her life, the man who sired her and then just kind of threw her away to the wind. And she's like, I want this money and I want to get back to my life in California. Lily, the middle, she's like, I need somewhere to be, and I've been trying to run from this bad situation, and this is the perfect opportunity. I want to stay here, like, if I can. She's just looking for sanctuary, basically. And Willa, she's spent her whole life, put her blood, sweat, and tears into this ranch, and she wants to get what she feels like she's owed. You know, she wants to run the ranch. That's all she's ever wanted to do. All she ever wanted to do was make her father proud, which she could never do because he never wanted her in the first place. And these 3 women, they come together under the circumstances of this will. They're forced together with the idea of they have to stay on the ranch for a year and they can't leave, because if they do, then the will states that the ranch will be sold to charity instead of staying in the family where Willa would want it to be. And they're all destitute at that point. They're not destitute, but Willa surely would be destitute at that point, and then probably Lily would be destitute as well. The only one that wouldn't be destitute is Tess. But this is a story about sisterhood. It's about overcoming hardship. It's about breaking free of sort of generational curses and getting out from under the the influence of someone who never really wanted you to begin with, and finding your own way in life and building new bonds, learning to trust people. And it's just a beautiful story of sisterhood. I think at the core of it, it's a beautiful story of sisterhood, and watching these women become sisters, because they start out just wanting nothing to do with each other. Mainly Tess and Willa start out wanting absolutely nothing to do with each other. They can't stand each other. And really it's because they're so similar that they can't stand each other. Having someone soft and pliant like Lily between them helps to kind of glue Willa and Tess together, because you can't help but want to nurture and take care of someone like Lily, just because she's so soft and fragile, and she's been through so much. And as a woman, you kind of understand that, even if it's not something you've ever been through, you do understand the things that Lily has been through and how awful they are, and it just makes you want to help her and kind of help her become the woman that she does end up blossoming into by the end of the story. And so the character arcs I thought in this book were wonderful for each of the women. And for Willa, it was really about learning how to, her arc centers around letting go of Jack Mercy, for sure, and accepting help, and stop and not being so hyper independent, because that's how she starts off. She starts off really hardened, very hyper independent. Lily, her arc goes from being this I don't want to say cowardly, but this kind of fragile, afraid, shaken, broken kind of woman. And through the love of her love interest, and through the influence of these very strong-willed sisters, she becomes someone who learns how to stand up for herself, how to speak for herself, how to fight for herself and for her freedom and for the things that she wants. And then Tess, she starts out only wanting to get the money from the ranch, get her portion, get out of Dodge, and she slowly softens and acclimates to life, to a different sort of busy life, because of course she's coming from a big city where everything is go go go, and here in Montana it's still go go go, but it's so different. It's nature. It's not the hustle and bustle. It's not industrial. And her career, she can really work from anywhere. You can write screenplays, write novels, write plays from anywhere. You don't need to be stationed somewhere. And she has to kind of let go of that like big city ideal, and she just becomes this cowgirl, and she falls in love. She allows herself to fall in love and to come to terms with falling in love with someone in Montana, and kind of uprooting her life and changing the trajectory of her life. And so these characters, because I've always been someone who loves a character-driven book, a character-driven storytelling more than plot-based storytelling, because I'm not so attached to the plot as I am to the characters. And if I don't like the characters in a book, then 9 times out of 10, I don't like the book. Even if I kind of like the villain in a book or in a movie or whatever, that'll keep me watching, because it gives me something to root for, or it gives me something to relate to. And so this book for me was very character driven. And the thing about Nora Roberts is that her books are always pretty long. They're not Stephen King long, they're not Tome long, but they're always pretty long. And usually the plot is very sprawling, lots of twists and turns. There are always mysteries going on. And for me, it's always about her characters. And I think she does characters really well. I think she does men really well. And I think she does women really well. I love, 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 love her women characters and how they're always so strong. And they are always so colorful and flavorful and rich to me. And it's like, I just love that. I love her female characters, and I love the way the male characters complement her female characters, because they're also very strong-willed. Someone that considers themselves strong-willed, it is really nice to see someone kind of paint love and and all sorts of relationships, whether they're romantic, whether they're platonic, whether they're familial relationships, where the people that these strong-willed people come into contact with, they accept them, they love them, and they never have to turn themselves down for their tribe. And I think Nora Roberts does that well. And all that takes place in this book, and it's why it's one of my favorites. It's probably on my list of favorite books of all times, honestly, because I've read it 3 times and I could probably read it a million more throughout my life. And I guess I should tell you what I rated it before I close the video out. I rated it 5 stars. I don't know if I needed to say that, but I rated it 5 stars. But yeah, I guess it's gonna bring it to the end of the video. I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a good evening. And most importantly, I hope you read a good book, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.